This is the Women Painters West April 2026 general meeting. And this month we have Marisa Caichiolo. I hope I haven't mangled that too badly, to talk to us. But Annie Clavel will give her a better introduction. Take it away, Annie.
I'm not sure it will be better, but it will be an introduction. Okay, so Marisa, I don't try with the last name. Is an artist and a curator, and I've known her a long time ago uh, because she loves also science. And as I am a mathematician, I remember I had a meeting because she is doing a lot with all the organization everywhere. And it was for, I think, the LA Art Show or something like this. And it's a long time ago we met. And so when I was looking for someone exceptional, I thought, oh yes, Marisa. And so she has done so many things. So she's a founder of Building Bridges Art Exchange. Maybe you know this. It's at Bergenwold Station, and the shows that she curates are very, very, very. They are stunning. And she's also all over the world. I'm not going to read her bio because it's too long.
No need, no need.
Okay, but it's very. I don't know why. Also, there are people. Uh, I'm very. I can meet them. I have not seen her during maybe 6 years, and then it's exactly as if I have met her the day before. So, Marisa, thank you for coming, and I think you are better than myself to explain what you are doing.
Just before you start, Marisa, everybody else, Marissa's okay with questions during the speech, but if you're not talking, can I ask you to mute yourselves, please, so that the husbands and the dogs in the backgrounds are not going to get all over there. Okay, take it away, Marisa. And by the way, I've made you co-host, so you should be able to share a screen now if you want to. Okay.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for the invitation. Thank you. I'm a big supporter of women practices all over the world, and I want to share, first of all, a little bit of my story. Maybe most of you don't know me, but I moved from Argentina years and years ago, almost 30 years ago, to work in animation for Paramount Pictures and Nickelodeon. So I moved especially to do color design and backgrounds design for Rugrats Go Wild, the movie, the animation movie, and I did the White Thornberrys movie. So I work in the industry for 5 or 6 years with 2 long movies. To share the story, I will share a tiny bit. Let me just find the presentation. And please, I don't like long conversations and boring. No, I really want a conversation with all of us. So please stop me, ask me questions so we can be in a very intimate and lovely and productive conversation. So feel free to really ask whatever you want to ask. So let's share. Okay. So this is what I did, what I came here to do. Working in animation with color design and background painter in 1999 and 2000. And I worked with them until 2004. So after doing, do you guys see okay can you see it? Yes?
Yes, we can see it just fine.
Okay, okay, perfect, because I don't know if Okay. Oops, what I did. Okay. So what happened? I don't know why. Continue to share. Here we go. So after working with animation for so long, of course, I study art history and art therapy and psychologist in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, in my country. I have a PhD in art history and a PhD in psychology. So when I finished working, I really thought that was needed a space, a platform more than anything to support women practices and to support different practices and connecting conversations around the world. This was 20 years ago. And so, obviously, working and focusing my practice, not only my curatorial practice, but my artistic practice in the impact of social and political changes in society all my career. I really start working in this foundation, Building Bridges. Building Bridges is my passion, is my baby. It's a nonprofit organization, it's a 501c3. And we're working, giving a lot of, for some reason, okay, here we go. So giving a lot of spaces, giving a lot of opportunities to different artists around the world and creating more than anything, which is so much needed today, an understanding about our differences in our cultural, in our cultures, in our world, and create this understanding through art. So we really work with artists that are Muslim artists, Jewish artists, bringing artists to different places. Now we just launched it after 20 years with a residency program just in Los Angeles. This year we launched and residency program all over the world, traveling. We just send an artist to Madrid, to Spain. Now we're preparing to send another artist to Morocco and to Mexico City. So we're doing all these exchanges, an arts education program, part of our programs at Building Bridges. We work with around 18 schools around the city and around the state as well, in different places. The artist in residency recently is changing formats for a traveling artist in residency as well as a traveling curatorial residencies. We work with over 34 countries most of the time. The countries that we work with, they're connected through the Minister of Cultures, through other art platforms, museums, cultural centers, and all that. This is actually our program of international art exchanges and traveling exhibitions. And like I mentioned before, this is a program that is already 20 years old. So this year, 2026, we're celebrating the 20 years, which is with a lot of effort, but with a lot of amazing opportunities and new programs, including a new podcast, Building Bridges podcast, creating a union, an opportunity, and a space for voices all over the world. So we're bringing artists from all over the world to really speak and communicate in this platform. We work a lot with science. I also did a long curatorial study in science and in the crossover of science, arts, and technology. And we've been actually partnering the organization, the foundation, with NASA, with organizations focusing on synesthesia, to work with artists from all over the world and connecting, in some of these partnerships, connecting artists and science and start working together. We do have a certain tendency to work with Latin American artists, not necessarily. We really share with artists from all over the world. We had, for the longest time, partnerships and programs with the Broad Museum, the Diversity Apprenticeship Program. We have the Getty Marrow Program. Around around different programs within the organization. These are some of the countries that we're working with. These are the countries that we are actually having a program or a connection that is fixed, that is permanent, that is keeping it around the years, maybe not all year long, but at least 2 or 3 or 4 programs around the year. So we're traveling, not only the exhibitions, but this year we're starting to traveling also with the residency programs and with educational programs through the curatorial residencies as well. These are some of the exhibitions that we have done in different countries along the year. During the pandemic, we did different partnerships and different programs when there was impossible to move and to travel. We did several exhibitions in a large scale in different buildings. In this case, was with Carlos Martiel. Carlos Martiel is a very strong artist that is at the MoMA collection, Guggenheim collection, is a Cuban artist working with performance. And we did a performance live inside one of the warehouses and projected around the entire city in Denver in different buildings, 7 buildings parallel in the entire city during the lockdown. We work a lot also with augmented reality, with different artists like Tiffany Trenda that work with science and technology. Here are some of the pieces. I just want to share a tiny bit of this ecosystem because it's huge what we do. We actually work with a lot of the programs with video art and mapping presentations in different museums along the world. You have to think that all these programs and all these opportunities for artists from all over the world, hundreds of artists a year that we work with. There are different programs that we create parallels in one, in Germany and parallel in Spain or Italy or Mexico or Africa, in Ghana or in Morocco or in Qatar, in different places, trying to create this conversation between artists of different cultures. A lot of the topics have to do with nature, with the way that humans relate to nature. We do also, because as you see, there's a lot of images like video or photography, but we work with artists, with paintings, with sculptural work. This is a new museum in Chile that I've been curating for the past 3 years. We started the building the museum itself in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic, and we opened the first exhibition in 2024. I'm the chief curator of the museum and is focusing on a private collection, but in dialogue with different collections and different artists around the world. This is a huge exhibition that I curate in Mexico in the Museum Musa in Guadalajara. It's a solo exhibition by another Cuban artist that work with sculptural pieces and film as well. These are all sculptural pieces created by him and some immersive experiences. Antoine Rodriguez is an artist working a lot with the spiritual world and the connection with water and nature and humanity. This actually, the work is a sound-based work and is a crossover between technology, science, and art. We did a huge sound bath, inviting the community in the entire, last year was this, in the entire museum. Basically, I love to work on either in the foundation, with the foundation, and with my independent curatorial work all over the world. I love to work with the community, include the community, work with this crossover, this juxtaposition between art, science, technology, and create a more understanding. This is a little bit about our partners and some of the grants with the city. This is one exhibition that I curate actually this last year, 2025, which is about biometrics, an artist that work with, this is Joaquin Fargas, a very well-known artist in Latin America that does a lot of research in with the human body, and also with all the science and technology, but applied to the human body. In this case, the exhibition and the curatorial focus was all the biometrics data that they've been using on us on a daily basis. So I work with a collective group of different artists from different parts of the world, including London, Brazil, Mexico, Spain, Italy. This actually is Marcos Lutiens. Marcos Lutiens is a local artist in Los Angeles. I took him to Chile last year, and he did, and he does, actually, I don't know if anybody of you know him. He's a very established artist. He's from London and lives in LA. And he does hypnosis. So he did a whole hypnotherapy session in the Guggenheim Museum some years ago. And of course, he participated at the Venice Biennale also some years ago. And we did an entire project with Marcos. This is also biometric data by Ana Marcos, a very strong artist from Spain, from Madrid. And this is about AI and the different intelligences. These projects that I've been working with some of the artists, in this case, we presented in Chile, Ana Marcos' study about the parallels between the cells and the human body and mind with the trees and with the life of trees and the healing and the communication between humans and trees through sound and through an entire project that they did, a research and investigation in the different with different trees in base of the electricity and the communication, the cellular communication between the trees and the and human beings. This is the current exhibition that I just came this week. I came back from Chile from open this exhibition, which is focused on female artists only because of March, the month of the Women's Month. This is photography artists, photography. The main focus of this exhibition, called Focus on Her, was the connection between art collectors, women's art collectors, supporting women artists. And this art is actually connecting with models and with the feminine body. So it's an entire focus on the art ecosystem, but focusing on the female perception of that. This was a very successful, this is just the images of the gallery empty, but we had 400 people at the opening. You can check on my Instagram account that I post a lot of the openings and receptions. And these artists are major artists, photographers, female photographers from all over the world. here what you have, you see the gray photography there, is an artist from Ukraine that has been, like actually her home studio and car was bombed in Ukraine. So we have artists from Eugenia Vargas Pereira, from Chile on the other side. A lot of artists from different parts of the world, Germany. And well, I will stop share for a second before I get to the second part. And let's see if you have any questions here before I get to my own practice, because it's very complex. What I have to share that for me, studying art history years and years ago, I have 30 years of practice, and being an immigrant, women artist, a mother, and it's really hard to do certain practices, residency programs, and a lot of things when you're a mom. It actually pushed me and helped me to support female practices, to support other women's practices along my career. In the same time, I really feel like it's more and more necessary. Even in this opening in Chile last week, I was saying, when we have all the men out there playing little soldiers and creating a disaster around the world, here are the women's try to keep our family safe, but also keep going with the creativity and with all the push to unite and create something more peaceful, at least a dialogue, a conversation in a peaceful manner. So this is what I've been doing, but it's parallel to my art practice. And here's the complication, because being an artist and being a curator for such a long time, I have a very strong, very dedicated practice. Every day of my life, I just have 8 or 10 hours that I dedicate to this, 7 days a week. There's no stop. Never was a stop. Even when my baby, that is 22, was 4 months old, I was traveling to Paris and leaving the baby, and I never stopped, or bringing the baby to the Middle East in a little backpack and having him, taken care by somebody at the museum when I was installing an exhibition. So I never stopped. It's something that I got my call when I was very young, probably at my 9 years old, 10. And I decided, and I said to my mother, this is what I want to do all my life. I don't want to do anything else. And I never did anything else. So I was very lucky to find out. It's a little curse, when you found your passion, it's a curse as well. But I just been doing all my life the same, creating these bridges, connecting this through the art, through very strong commitment with activism as well. I think the other day I had a very strong conversation with an artist, and he was asking me, do you think art cannot be political at this moment? Of course not. We are political beings, and it's in this moment, anything that you do, even a line in a canvas, is very strong political statement in this moment, especially in the world, when we are trying to be forced to live under fear, and under fear, it's very complicated to be free and create. So it's a whole program that we have out there for all of us as humanity. But at the same time, this beautiful thing of building bridges, which I think the future is in community. That's why I love to see you guys in community, in trying to create this force together. Is very beautiful to see it. And
I do have a question for you. It's
Please.
Going back to something that you said about the trees and the electricity. I see I see occasionally little reels on Instagram where people have attached some kind of animated, like little, I don't know what you call them.
They're testing their...
Yeah, and they attach it to the electricity part to the plant, and the plant's playing music. Was that any part of what you were doing there? Wow, I love that stuff.
Yeah, they're in the middle of the process. They got a grant from the government of Spain in Madrid. You know, Ana Marcos is one of the top female artists working with science and art together, and she's brilliant. So they're doing, her husband is actually a science, and so they're working together in this project, and they're doing all this. You can actually check her out, Ana Marcos. I will give you some information. Ana Marcos, Madrid, Artist Madrid. So they're doing a long, like for many years now, a study and going to different places in the world to studying the different trees. How is the difference, but at the same time, how is the net and how they're all connected with a certain, you know, vibrations, and of course the trees are working in community. They were explained to me, and it's amazing. And I would love, if you're interested, to connect with her, because in the way that she explained the whole process, how they're connected, but at the same time, how the trees are feeling threat by a certain act or movement when the people are arriving, or when there's something or noise, and they're all connected. They're immediately sending signs to each other that
Yeah, I read a lot about that on the science.
by a different energy. So and of course, they really study the parallelism between human beings, and the trees. Of course, we're all alive. We are all one. It's very difficult to, even today, for us to understand that we are all one. Which that's the beauty as well, to understand these processes, and to work and create art, and connect all of us more with this information that it has a lot of value. I don't know.
By the way, we've had a couple of comments. Suzanne said in the comments, a wonderful, informative presentation. Amazing, all you have accomplished across the globe. And Annie says, look like you have many different lives. So
I do. You know, some people are asking me, I'm 50, I'm 52, 53. I'm gonna be, but it's interesting because a lot of people are asking me, oh my God, when we see your CV, it looks like you're 70, or because the amount of things that I have done since I was 20 years old, nonstop, 20 or less. And so now what I want to share with you is a little bit of my own production as an artist, which has a lot of parallelism with all what I do. I try to be in an alignment with what I do as a curator and what I do as an artist. Anyways, I have a very strong opinion and a very strong opinion about myself, no, in this part. I never, ever, ever, in 30 years producing work, I never put one piece in one of my curatorial exhibitions, because I don't think personally that I can curate my own work, that I can be, I truly believe that somebody else need to work with my own work. So I always separated completely those two pieces, and I have a total parallel lives. And whoever has been working with me for 20 years, I really, they really know me, and they know I never gave one chance to put my work in a curatorial project. For me, the curatorial, when I'm a curator, I use one part of the brain, and I'm a curator encouraging and elevating the process, the creative process of those artists. When I'm creating myself and let everything go, and I create from my heart, and I don't have boundaries. But if I try to combine those two, it will be really hard for my ethical matters, for my ethical self to don't, because my ego, when I produce my own work, my ego is part of that very strongly. So I cannot separate myself from the work. when I curate from another side, and I really try to make sense and to connect the dots between the institution, the exhibition, the artist work, and the public. So that's different, and I take myself out of the equation. Yes, I put myself as a curator, my name, that's it. But I take myself out of the equation of the artistic practice between. So that is something that I've been doing and that I have a very strong, and when people were asking me, I said, no, I will never do that. This is never, ever, ever, and I will die with that statement. I will never do that. And I have these two parallel lives that I love, that I truly love. And when I feel you see me, you saw this with this presentation, you saw me as a part of a director, founder. Now the vulnerability that it come together and hand by hand with my own work is huge because I become another self. It's hard for me to speak sometime about my work, and it's all about vulnerability and about the connection with everything I transform through all my life since I was 9 years old, my pain into art. So that is my artistic practice. And I will share with you, if you don't have any more questions, I will share some of my work. And
yeah, please do. Oh, Zoni has a question.
Yes. Sony, I cannot hear you.
Sorry about that. Just so amazing to look at all the activities that you've done in the past and currently as well. Could you tell us your upcoming or your current projects for women artists or in support of women artists?
Well, the current project is for 6 months. It's a 6 months exhibition and it's finishing in September. And I'm actually exhibiting 35 women from all over the world. I have artists from Ukraine, from Germany, from Spain, from Mexico, from Los Angeles, from Latin America. I have 10 women from Los Angeles. I called the Los Angeles Center of Photography and I asked Rotem, the director, to help me go through the list of artists, female artists. So I took 10 artists through a projection of their own work inside the museum. And
in Los Angeles or in Los Angeles?
No,
or
the
online?
museum in Chile, in South America.
Chile, okay.
I do exhibitions all over. My next one, I have two very big upcoming. On May 5th, I open the Venice Biennale with the official pavilion of Chile that I'm curating in the Arsenale. So it's a male artist. So I will show you the progress because we are building the project right now. We are finishing on hopefully May 2nd. So May 5th, we can have the preview and the opening at the Venice Biennale. And after that, I'm curating for the second time. I'm the artistic director and curator of the Casablanca Biennale in Morocco, where I will be focusing on 75 artists, mainly a lot of African artists, but I will bring 13 artists from the American continent, which is between Latin America and United States as well. So that's my next two projects that they're coming up with a lot more. I have another 6 by the end of the year, but I don't even want to think about that. Let's
see your artworks.
Yeah, let's focus on that. I will share the fast because I know that we have time, a little bit of my production that also is big. It's a large and produce a lot. Okay. And I have a very strong what I usually do, I will share what I have done lately This is my latest exhibitions. Usually my way to be able to focus on the practice with all the work that I have, to be able to produce my work, I generally do one exhibition a year, just one exhibit only. I've been doing since I'm 20 years old, one exhibition a year, and I try to choose the most appropriate for my work, and it's one. That's it, because I cannot do more. And usually I do a lot of writing on my work, and writing because I don't have physical time. And I take 1 or 2 months a year to production. That's my model, like the way that I found that way to be able to function and to produce work. This is the New York Latin American Triennial that just finished. It was from September 2025 to February 2026 in New York. This is a piece that I've been working since the fires in Ojai in 2018. We had a lot of evacuations for the fires, and this happened before the fire in LA last year. And I create these wooden houses with inside videos and sound, with the stories of different people with different languages, with different backgrounds, that they lost their homes. This installation is called The House. And I try to work also with roots, a lot of roots, because even if people, they're losing everything, they take those roots, their own roots, and they move to create a home somewhere else. So I create a whole story with the videos and sound, and I interview people that they lost their homes, and I film them. And this project has been growing because this started in 2018 with some of the roots and some of the pieces that I recollect from the fire in Ojai. And now suddenly it's all LA. So I just been collecting stories and work. This piece is a performance video and photography that I did for the Biennial of Piemonte in Italy, that it was last year from October to November. This is a Sur Biennale or Biennial, the Bad Politics in Cuenca, Ecuador, last year as well. And I was presenting the same piece that I presented in New York. Most of this work is in situ. So this work was around 3 meters wide by 4 meters high, but it all depends of the spaces. And this is the latest solo exhibition that I had in a museum in Madrid, in Spain, last year, from March to June. And I used the entire museum. I took over the entire museum, like a very large space, and I did a combination and compilation, the different bodies of work, painting. Here is some paintings and embroidery, some of the latest work that now I will show you the series and the bodies of work. This is a project that I did, Art Meets Healing, and I worked for a month in Bharat Hospital, an oncologist hospital in India, and I work with art and healing directly with the patients, the kids, and the parents of the patients. A lot of my work is with the textile, always, since the very beginning. 30 years ago, I worked with textile, but in a very conceptual and ephemeral way as well. So in this case, I did a full meditations with the kids in treatments in the hospital in a different format with the parents. But with the kids, I asked them to get this red fabric wet to touch the parts that they need healing through the cancer, and to start working with nature. So every day we were going to nature and heal their bodies and touch nature, until at the last of the whole process, creative process, they left each of the pieces in the trees around the hospital. So I worked there for a month. I think I do many works like this, but this was one of the most, like the hardest that I found on myself. I finished very burned out and under exhaustion. Back to the Roots. To the Roots is a solo exhibition that I did here in the Manhattan Beach Arts Center, 2024-2025. Also, again, the whole space and having different bodies of work that I will share very quickly with you. Video Act Biennial in Peru, 2024. This is the last ones that I did, mostly solo exhibitions. This one is a body of work that is textile, embroidery, and ceramics, video and photography. This project is a very strong project. I started in 2023, especially focusing on this Biennale because this series is about there's no more blind than he who does not want to see. This is the title of the series, and it's about all the disappearances during the dictatorship in my country, in South America and Argentina. So in the year that I was born, and all the mothers that they were still looking, Madres de Plaza de Mayo, looking for their kids and grandkids, they're wearing this white fabric, textile in their heads. So I started using Braille code and sending and embroidering Braille code in all these fabric pieces and working with all the families of the people who disappear and putting all of them in these photographs, in these large panels. This was in the Museum of Memory and the Contemporary Art Museum in Peru, in Lima. It's so much. And this was the last one. This was one of my latest retrospectives. It was a retrospective of my entire last 10 years of production in Mexico in a museum, in Musa Museum in Guadalajara. And each of the rooms had a different installation of my own work. And it's a mix between the videos, the textiles, the photograph, and the embroidery pieces that I have done along the way. So this is just the last 10 years. And it was beautiful to have a retrospective that is a little bit of my work and the exhibitions that I have done in the last, from 2023 to now, in the last 3 years. And here, I don't want to get you all bored, but this is some of my work that you can check later on my website. But this is different bodies of work. This one, which is very strong for me, one of my favorites, but I started in 2018, 19, and I work until today. It's a series of silver plates, embroidery with my own hair. I cut my hair and I embroidery my red hair. It's embroidery. It's all, I make little dots, little holes, and I embroidery. It's taking a lot of time because I'm doing it myself. So it's very time consuming, but it's something that I love. I love these pieces, and I have a video installations. These pieces I actually exhibited in several museums, and the Biennial of Curitiba, Brazil, in 2022 or 2021, after the pandemic. Or before, I lose. But so this is it's one of my favorite pieces, and it's how else can I serve you? And it's really talking about violence, violence of gender, but also in our societies in general, we really have this cover violence sometimes against women, against the servants, against the people that really serve us. So this How Else Can I Serve You for me was a very strong series. And I started this series with my own hair, cutting my hair when I got divorced. So it was all my pieces are very personal, but actually in this personal engagement, I really connect, I think, with the global and with the global ideas of what's happening with all of us. Here, there's some of the pieces. There's a lot of, a lot of different works, but here is another, No More Blood in Your Clothes. It's actually from 2015. It's about violence in general, and could be in any case, with the violence and the war and what's going on today, is actually still working. No More Blood, and it was talking about originally about the textile industry, the violence and this reality in the textile industries in China, the abuse of women and children in this textile industry, because I was traveling and I was working with that. A lot of those are photographies that I took and videos of the performance, and also printed on a textile and embroidery on top of the textile. A lot of these pieces also are on paper, embroidery paper, but this is 2015, 2016. During the pandemic, I did all this body of work called Sacred Seed that I started in Ojai, doing a circuit for people to go and take a look at videos of women. I asked different women around the world to plant a seed and send me their videos. So I put, as you can see, I put here in Ojai, in the mountain, I put some of the videos on the floor. So I was inviting people with distance in the middle of 2020 to go and get on their knees to watch the videos and to connect with Mother Earth. So it was a whole moment of reflection on how we are connecting and reconnecting with Mother Earth. And I had different videos and different like rituals of offerings from different parts of the world. I did also a connection with some of the Chumash, some of the Mapuche tribes, and the women's and the shamans and the shamanas, no?
Shamans would be the right word.
Yes, shamans. Yeah. So the healing part of the tribes to really connect with us. So this is a little bit of the big amount of work that I have, but lately this is part of the paintings and embroideries that I'm doing, which is painted and embroidery and with Braille code. So every one of them, I've been working on a lot of them. Every one of them have a message that is actually, that you can read if you read Braille. And it's a message that nobody else can read, just if you're blind.
That's very interesting that you produce work, visual art specifically for the blind.
Yeah, that's what I was really,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to touch, including, I did all these elements, they're ceramics dots. So you actually can touch and read through the touch. And these here's are all embroidery with little dots. So this is my latest work, and I just been doing a lot of research, working with the families, finding the families that they're still looking for their missing people. And this is one of my oldest work, a textile work from 1999. This is all textile, leather, stamped by heat, paint, oil. It's oil painted. And I did 50 dresses representing femininity inside each of the religions. But this was I presented in several museums, including in the Middle East, back then in 1999 and before the 2000. Some of them, the dress. I don't know if anybody have any
I think I've
questions.
seen work. I must have seen this work before.
Well,
It's been a
I
long
show it
time.
here in LA 2 years ago.
Okay. That's
Yes,
probably where. Yeah.
years ago.
Yes.
I don't know if it's any question.
We actually have some comments and questions in the
Yeah,
chat.
yes.
Buena says you're an encouragement. Adiola says your work and curation is inspiring. Janice says, so wonderful to see a woman doing such powerful things in the art world. Congratulations and continued success for you. I have no excuse for burnout after listening to you. And then Buena has a question. How do you choose artists to exhibit? And do you look at emergent artists' works? And how does an artist get our art into your view for consideration?
Oh, well, yes. And here, one question before that one. Yes, I have few pieces in the One Seimer show. I wasn't here, but my pieces were, and yes, few pieces. I think it was one of the only group shows that I usually, because I don't have the time, I don't do that many group shows. I prefer to have like a more like a body, a solid body of work all together, showing one time a year, more than having many group shows. This is a long, but this is very personal. Regarding how I choose the artist, I think it all depends of the needs for each of the exhibitions. I
You like do a call for
constantly,
artists, or do you do a call for artists somewhere, or do
yeah,
you
we do
you pick from
call.
people you know?
Yes, we do call for artists through the foundation, through Building Bridges, always. We do different juries, like no necessarily only me, no. And I'm all the time in a research. Every time that I go a different city, different country, even in LA, every time I try to see what's going on, who is doing what, and I try to see what is catching my attention. And it always depends of what is needed in the different exhibitions. Depends of what kind of curatorial focus or is in the project, no, in the different projects. But I'm always looking for different artists, and I work with tons of different artists, different ages, different nationalities. As much as I can, for me, diversity is the key. Support female artists also. I work a lot.
And Adiola has a question. Adiola has her hand up.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think I'm muted. Oof.
No, you're not muted. We hear you.
Great. Well, I just wanted to say that, I feel so honored to be in that One Zima show, which even though you weren't there, but I remember your pieces, and it was so cool to have those pieces in the exhibition. And to be in that same show with you, it's just,
Oh my God, you were in the same show with, oh my gosh.
yes, with that Schneizana
Oh,
curated.
great.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm so, yeah, I wasn't there. I dropped the work and I wasn't there.
Yeah,
And
you were
that's so
traveling, I
great.
think, around that. But also, I see your work, the ones that you curate at the LA Art Show,
Yes.
and I wanted to say, what is last? No, this year, this year pieces. Did you curate two show this year?
Yeah, I curate every year. I curate the diversity area, Diverse Art LA, which is the non-commercial areas. I
Yeah,
just work with the museums and nonprofit organizations there every year for the past more than 10 years.
yeah,
And yeah, it's incredible the amount of work and the amount of museums. I have a catalog that I can share with you if you care, because I have a PDF that is amazing to see the amount of work that passed through that platform in all these years, from
yeah.
LACMA to I don't know, to everybody, to Mola, to yeah, it's all the most of the institutions in LA, and with beautiful work, beautiful representation of diversity and artists from different parts. Yeah.
There were two installations this year. One was with the installations of the white with the lights and the mirror face, and the other one was the red. And I am the coffee that did a performance with your installation.
Oh, you were dancing, and
Yes,
no, you were. Oh my gosh!
yes,
Oh my God! Now I understand who you are. But I'm sorry. You most of the time, it's so many people around me that yes, I don't put things together. Oh my
no,
God! Now I do. Congratulations! It was one of the best pieces that we had because
yes,
you really elevate that piece. It was a fantastic piece by Eugenia Vargas Pereira, an artist from Chile, actually.
yeah. I was. We were just there for the opening, and your feet, the installation just called for that
Yes,
active moment. It was impromptu. I didn't ever plan it. I was just like, I'm just gonna go for it, and I'm so happy I did.
it was fantastic. Actually, I reshare in social media because it was incredible.
Thank you, thank you. So I just
Yes.
did chime in just to kind of let you know. Uh,
No, that's fantastic. Yes, and I do, I do have that part parallel to the nonprofit, parallel to Building Bridges and all my independent curatorial work. I do work for two art fairs, just curating the non-commercial section in
mhm.
Palm Beach, in Florida, and in Los Angeles. But that is only inviting museums and nonprofit organizations to bring very specific works depending of the overall curatorial topic that I choose every year.
Yeah.
Now I'm already working on the one for next year. Yes. And I don't know if you have any other questions, because I know that is probably time, but if you
I,
have any.
we have one more. Kenshin says, astonishing how clearly your message comes through so consistently.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure and sometimes it's really complicated for me because I was worried about this conversation. I say, my goodness, I really want to connect with all of you, with each of you, but at the same time, I want to have a clear message, and there's so much to share that I never know what I could choose to share that will be important or that will be good for you to see. But something that I want to close with that maybe is good to see is I will share the catalog. I don't know if I could. I probably will share with you maybe later, Jenny, and you can share with the group the catalog for
Okay.
diverse if they want to see, because it's all this very fast, but I will see. This is what I do with diverse is a lot of the okay, let me just see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do. See, is basically inviting artists and different topics through the museums. So I invite the museums, and each of the museums are presenting me different projects, and I choose one of the projects for the fair. So this catalog that is very strong is a catalog with all the history of diverse, focusing on diversity and all this program, which is the different projects along the year. So it's a lot to show you, but probably if you're interested, if any of you are interested, I can share the PDF later because it's a big book actually. Um, and
Yes, if you send that to me or to us, then
yes,
anyone who
yes,
wants it can request it from me.
exactly. And the latest work that I will share very fast is what we are preparing for the Venice Biennale, which is my baby
Okay.
right now. and I'm
Could you possibly share what you just showed us again? Was it all at LACMA or those exhibits? Could you?
No, those exhibits, that's what I mean. I will share the PDF. Those exhibitions are the museums participating in the program Diverse that I curate. So along the years, we have LACMA 3 times or 4 times every year inside the art fair. So in that book, I can share with you, Jenny, the PDF. There's all the museums, the LA museums, with each of the projects that they presented at the fair.
So each of those exhibits you were involved with?
I curate the
Curated
platform.
each of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry that
No, it's fine. I'm over curate the platform. So I'm the one who choose a topic for everybody. I send a letter of invitation to the museums, and the museums are sending a project.
So that one, just curious about the different exhibits you showed. One was a man pouring things.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what that was, but
that was a performance done at the fair in the platform. Yes.
Okay. And
With
the other,
Martinez.
I
Yes.
was also curious about the woman who was lying down. Was that a real person?
Yeah,
Was that a
the woman,
performance too?
the woman who was laid down, it was a man. It's a man laid down.
It was
Yes.
a man.
Yes.
Okay.
I
It
didn't
was a
see that
man laid
until you saw
down.
his face either.
Yes. And
Okay.
yeah.
And that was, how long did they do that
He
for?
stayed there in the performance. He stayed there for, I think, 2 hours and a half.
Okay.
It's a resistance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's Carlos Martial, yes.
So
It's a
you're
very
going,
interesting, but that's what I mean. The PDF is very interesting. It's very strong, but it's very interesting, the projects.
okay. Could I ask you something?
Yes.
I'm very bold, I guess, about asking. Uh, you obviously have a connection with LACMA. These are all at the Los Angeles County Museum, or maybe just one of them was.
No, they're only one or two along 14 years. No, I usually have 8 museums a year.
Mhm.
8.
Would you be interested because I've started the process. I'm with uh because I joined the LACMA and I was able to get
Okay.
to up to a friendship level, which means that I can go to acquisition meetings.
The acquisition. Okay.
Yeah, and I did, and Diane Carpel has been helping me with this to see if, here we have this group of 150 women who do beautiful paintings, a lot of us professionals,
Yeah.
and our group has been around for, I don't know, over 100 years. I don't know exactly, but
About 104
I
or 8 or
103, I
something like
guess.
that.
I did how many
I think
years?
it's
102 or
104 or something like
103.
that. 103. Okay, that's not a bad guess.
Okay. And I did write to a curator, but I haven't heard back again about the idea, because at museums it's gotten better, but at LACMA, been through all their galleries. There were 3 women paintings in their permanent collection they had on display when I went there, and one was, it's so terrible that I refer to her like this, the wife of Jackson Pollock. And they said in the thing about her that she's so good that she could paint like a man. That was quite something to see that.
Ooh.
I know. And then also in the Impressionist exhibit, there was only maybe 2 paintings. Of course, in that era, it was really hard. So what I'm asking you is, would you be interested in our group? Because you seem to be so successful in getting shows at museums. Be interested
Yes.
in representing our group and to trying to get an exhibit of Women Painters West in Los Angeles County Museum of Art. I think there's some very deserving artists here.
I get it, and yes, I would love to help. It's not that easy to get inside the museum, not that museum, any museum. It's
Yeah.
not that easy. It's a
But you've
lot
done
of,
it.
I have to be honest, it's a lot, like when I say to you early, to you and all of you, when they say, oh, how you choose the artist, most of the time when they reach or a museum reach to a curator is okay, we are looking for this and this and this. And sometimes exactly that is not fitting everybody's work, or
Oh,
we are
sure.
looking for somebody
Mhm,
or an exhibition that is focusing on anything, performance or
mhm,
photography, or so sometimes it's not that easy. I always help, and I'm willing to help. I'm always support, big supporter. So
mhm.
yes, but I mean, it's not an easy task to get
I
an
know.
exhibition at LACMA. There's a lot of changes at LACMA, as you know, probably been there. There's a
Mhm.
lot of changes at LACMA, and I think it's actually so bad that we don't have more time, that much time, because also I believe that it's a lot of changes in the art world in general. We are
Yes.
going through one of the biggest shifts, the art ecosystem is shifting with the world, with I truly believe that art is a
Mhm,
mirror of what's happening in society, and
mhm,
we are in such a
mhm,
breaking point
mhm,
that the art is also suffering a lot. I'm giving conferences or talking to people, bringing projects all over the world, and it's the same question all over.
mhm.
Where the art is going, what is happening, how is the galleries are closing. Is gallery a model that it will keep functioning? Mm, mm, mm. Is the collecting, of course, because we're facing also another reality. We're facing the end of it's a crisis on collecting, but because it's a generational issue.
Mhm, mhm.
It's a generation of collectors and supporters, sometimes even of women practices, that they're not buying at the moment. They're
Yes,
transitioning, they're changing.
but I do think we are a group of local artists. The LA County Museum of Art is a local
Yeah,
museum.
it is. It should.
There are
Absolutely.
not enough paintings in LA County by women. And I did get a letter back. I'm going to write again. And I think that if it's even a possibility, there's so much to choose from this group. And of course, I'm not saying to get, that they would choose, look at the art, look at the 100-year brochure that was made and decide if they want to exhibit any of us artists.
This is what I was actually planning to ask. Do you have a brochure? Do you have something solid? Do you have a PDF? Do you have something solid that I can see? Because that
Well,
would
we
be
have
helpful.
we have a lot of past exhibitions available on our website. But one of the
Okay.
things that I know that the exhibition committee is going to be working on is creating an exhibition that will be online only, but all of the work will have to stay available. So that will be an exhibition that will be, this is the exhibition what you get, because it's difficult, as I'm sure you realize, to look at the body of work from one artist. You can see that it's a consistent body of work.
Yeah.
But then when you're looking at the consistent body of work of 140 or however many applied different artists, I'm sure you can appreciate this. There's a lot of diversity there, and it's hard to see the similarities. So
Yeah,
that's why they're
but
doing
there is a way that probably, I don't know if you have done it before. What should be done is probably to curate different sections and have a very strong statement through different sections of the bodies of work of the 140. Because one thing is to show all together 140 artists, and another thing is to curate different nucleus of work that actually have the same narrative, the same, not the same visuals exactly, but there's work that actually could connect and could create this ecosystem, this between, you know, between the 140 artists. I think it's a work that you have to do, that you have to create. Of course, it has to be well curated in a certain way that you have this nucleus and you can really connect. So anybody that will go to this archive, because it's an archive at the end of the day, anybody who reach and goes to this archive is really connecting with the key of the group, you know, and say, okay, this is more organic work, this is abstraction, this is that, and it has a reading. Because if no, is anybody, is the same thing when I talk to artists. I give a lot of coaching. So when I talk to artists and they say, okay, can I approach a gallery, or can I say, well, no, like this, if you're showing 10 different pieces that have nothing to do one with another, how do you approach a gallery that will understand your practice?
Well, we have when we do shows, we always have a theme for them, but it is true that we have a theme that has a wide area of interpretation because we have such a wider range of styles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, I was thinking that because it's the Los Angeles Museum, County Museum of Art, I've also talked to the Getty about this, but with the Los Angeles Museum of Art, there seemed to be a little opening. And I was thinking that we could do an exhibit, you know, like we do for the galleries, where the theme would be women and art from in California. Somehow those two things.
Yeah,
And it sounds pretty general, but it is, we are women, we are mostly from California, and they are a leading museum in California. And that could be, you know,
and they should, yes, be
an entrance.
They should be.
But you know, if everyone did something or had a painting already that related to this theme, and I think people would really enjoy it. You know.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, from to,
and it's a legacy. It's a legacy also.
Painters.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion.
Yeah. No, Barbara, I totally agree with you, and it's great. Any way that I can help, of course, that I could help, you know, and you reach out after June. But yes, it's after June is fine. I'm just a little overwhelmed with all the biennials before that. But yes, I can just give in a little advice and, you know, support in any ways that I can.
Thank you so much for that offer.
Yeah.
Okay, I think are we any last questions? Okay, well, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to one last comment that was put up there from Joan. You are a remarkable woman with ideas, energy, youth, and health. I am happy to have viewed this presentation. So thank you very much. We're gonna end the recording now.
Thank you for listening and for yes, for being here so late that it's 8:20 already.